Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into one of the craziest, most mind-bending questions out there. Are we actually living in a simulation? What if everything we see, feel, and experience is just part of an incredibly advanced computer program? I know it sounds like something straight out of the Matrix, but some of the world's most brilliant scientists, philosophers, and tech experts have seriously considered this idea. Before we jump in, I just want to say that this video is for educational and entertainment purposes only. I'm not here to tell you that we are definitely living in a simulation or that we aren't. This is just an exploration of the theories, evidence, and counter-arguments so we can all think about it and form our own opinions. So, with that in mind, let's get started. The idea that our reality might be simulated isn't just some internet conspiracy theory. It actually has a strong philosophical and scientific basis. One of the most famous arguments comes from philosopher Nick Bostrom, who proposed what's called the simulation hypothesis. He suggests that if civilizations ever become advanced enough to create conscious, realistic simulations of the past, then the number of simulated realities could vastly outnumber the one true reality. If that's the case, the odds that we are in one of those simulations, instead of the single real universe, are incredibly high. Think about it. If future civilizations could create billions or even trillions of these simulated worlds, how do we know we're not inside one right now? Some scientists have even looked for physical evidence that our universe might be a simulation. Theoretical physicist James Gates discovered strange error-correcting codes embedded deep within the mathematical equations that govern our reality. These are the same types of codes that computers use to detect and correct errors in data. If the universe itself contains something that looks like programming code, does that mean it was programmed? Quantum mechanics also presents some of the weirdest and most unexplainable behaviors in science, and some people believe it could be another clue. The famous double-slit experiment showed that particles can exist in multiple states at once, acting as both a particle and a wave until they are observed. The moment someone observes them, they suddenly decide on a single state. This has led to the question, does reality only exist when it's being observed? In a way, that's kind of like how video games only render the parts of the world that the player is looking at. If our universe operates the same way, could it be because it's part of a simulation running efficiently by only loading what's necessary? Another interesting argument for the simulation hypothesis is the rapid advancement of technology. Just look at how far we've come in the last few decades. Video games have evolved from simple 8-bit graphics to hyper-realistic AI-driven open-world environments. Virtual reality is becoming more immersive every year. If technology continues to advance at this rate, it's not hard to imagine a future where we can create simulations that are indistinguishable from reality. If we assume that future civilizations will reach this point, then who's to say they haven't already, and that we aren't living in one of their simulations? Even Elon Musk has weighed in on this topic, saying he believes there's a 1 in billions chance that we are in base reality. His reasoning? If technology keeps progressing and we eventually reach the ability to create perfect simulations, then statistically, it's far more likely that we're already inside one rather than in the original unsimulated universe. Of course, not everyone agrees with the simulation hypothesis. Some scientists argue that while it's an interesting idea, there's no actual proof that we are living in a simulation. Just because something could be simulated doesn't mean it has been. Others point out that to run a simulation as vast and complex as our universe, you would need an unfathomable amount of computing power. Even if an advanced civilization had technology far beyond our imagination, could they really simulate an entire universe down to the smallest atomic details? Another counterargument is the lack of glitches. If we were in a simulation, wouldn't we sometimes see errors in the system? Some believers argue that we actually do. Things like déjà vu, strange coincidences, or moments where time seems to skip could all be glitches in the simulation. Have you ever had a moment where reality didn't quite feel right? Could those be signs that something is off with the program running our universe? Then, there's the question of what happens if we ever prove we are in a simulation. If we find undeniable evidence, what does that mean for us? Would it change how we live our lives? And if this really is a simulation, who or what is running it? Is it an advanced civilization running ancestor simulations to study history? Could it be an advanced alien intelligence or something even bigger that we can't possibly comprehend? At the end of the day, whether or not we are in a simulation remains one of the biggest mysteries of all time. It's a fascinating question that challenges everything we think we know about reality, existence, and consciousness. Whether you believe in it or not, one thing's for sure: it makes you see the world a little differently. So, what do you think? Are we living in a simulation, or is this just a wild thought experiment? Have you ever experienced anything that made you question reality? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a new video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.